I'm at the start of round 3 on my Sunstruck project, and I am ready to do my starting chain 2, and then I'm going to repeat a half double crochet 3 together, which is decreasing by 2 stitches, a chain 5, a slip stitch into the chain space, another chain 5, and we'll be repeating that sequence around. So let's go ahead and get started. I've done my chain 2 as my starting chain 2, and now I'm going to do a half double crochet 3 together. So remember that your first stitch is always the stitch that you slipped into, your starting stitch. So this is the first stitch that I'll be working my HDC 3 together. Now, I forgot, some of you may not have done an HDC 3 together before, so let me walk you through exactly what I'm doing. An HDC is a yarn over, as you know, so you start with that yarn over just like you would with a normal half double crochet. Then you insert through the first stitch on this round, then the second stitch on this round, and then the third stitch on this round. So you will have a total of 5 loops on your hook at this point. You're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. And that will give you an HDC 3 together. Next, we are going to do a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to slip stitch into the chain space. So here's the chain space where we did a chain 2 in our last round. So we're just going to do a slip stitch by inserting our hook underneath through that chain space, doing a yarn over and pulling through both of those loops. That slips us to that stitch there, and then we're going to do another chain 5. At which point we repeat that sequence and we do another HDC 3 together. So this is a little bit tricky on these HDC 3 togethers. Finding the exact stitch that belongs to these posts can be hard. It's always this one over here. This is your first stitch. 1, 2, 3. However, if you prefer the look of going here, 1, 2, 3, it won't affect your final project. So you can really do it either way. Either way will look wonderful. I'm just going to do it the actual proper way since I'm doing a video here. So I'm inserting through the top of that very first stitch, pulling one up, inserting and pulling up a loop, and inserting and pulling up a loop. I now have 5 loops on my hook. Can yarn over and pull through all 5 loops at once. Another HDC 3 together. And then we're doing the chain 5. The slip stitch. And another chain 5. And we're going to repeat that sequence around, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue repeating, and then I will come back on at the end of the round. I've made it around to the end of round 3, and I'm ready to do my slip stitch into my starting chain. So that's going to be over here. For those of you who are using a solid color project or are doing a solid color project, then you can just go ahead and slip stitch in to that starting chain just like that. But if you are doing a multicolored project like me, then you want to go ahead and grab your color 2 yarn before you do the slip stitch. So I've got my chain 5 there, and I'm going to grab my color 2 yarn now. And I'm going to do my slip stitch in my color 2 yarn in order to make a nice color transition. So I'm grabbing a loop of my color 2 yarn. I've inserted my hook underneath that chain space where we're slipping into. I've grabbed a loop of my color 2 yarn, and I'm just going to pull that loop through both. And there I am. I've got my slip stitch, and I'm ready to start working in my color 2. At this point, we can cut our color 1 yarn and I'm going to just do that a little bit later and keep on moving here.